What's going on, yo? This is Pito back with another book review. Today we doing Adversity for Sale by Young Jeezy. Definitely one of the most entertainment books I've ever read. A lot of different stories, a lot of different things going on, a lot of moving parts, a lot of questions answered to why he was doing a lot of stuff he was doing. And right or wrong, from his perspective, he felt like it was necessary. Very entertaining, man. There's definitely a lot that you can learn and gain from understanding what this man been through. Definitely, I want y'all to check it out. And again, we're going to go over my thoughts, my perspective, and how I felt about the book. It's Pito, Adversity for Sale, Young Jeezy. Let's get it. All right, so one thing about this book that I never really equated for some reason in my head, that Young Jeezy was on a lot of motivational tips when it comes to his music. And I've like TM 103, TM 101, like Thug motivation music. I don't know why my mind just never equated the motivational part to what he was actually rapping about. It's crazy. Like, but now that I've listened to him actually explain and give his side of why he made the music he was making, a lot of the motivational aspects of it just sparked. I don't know, it's weird. But he started out the book with some bars. He started out the book rapping, which I thought was dope. It got me hyped. It almost like set the tone for the book. That's why one of the reasons why initially I was like, okay. I was calling people like, yo, I think this book gonna be super dope, man, because the way he started it had me hyped. So that's one good thing that I loved. All right, so when it came to the motivational side of things, he also talked about like having a dream and having a vision. And a lot of times people around you would try to kill your vision without you even knowing, without them even knowing. Like, it won't even be intentional. Sometimes it'd be subtle little things that they would say from their own lives and their own experiences to kind of diminish or dim down your brightness or your view or your dream. And he was like, they would say little things like, that sound expensive, or that sounds big, or that sound like a lot. And a lot of times you got to be careful when you speaking about your dreams and talking about what you want to do and where you want to go, because a lot of people won't match or understand or even try to care about where you're trying to go, or it won't even seem feasible to a lot of different people. So that's why a lot of times they say, be quiet about what you want to do and where you want to go. Keep it to yourself and keep it pushing. So that was definitely another part of the book that I thought was super dope. That it was just a little part of it though, but it was a part that kind of stuck out to me about being quiet about your dreams and where you want to go. And another part, he was talking about how I didn't know he was in the military, like a military kid, like he was in Japan and all these different places with his dad, and how it was so sweet over there when he was younger because the security was so lax at a lot of different places he would go to. So he was making little plays in these little electronic shops over there and sending her back over here because it was so lax. But I just thought it was funny. Like, he even ended up taking something from a dude that he was working for here in America, in the States or whatever. And he ended up regretting it because it was like he probably would have gave it to me. But he was a kid when a lot of this was going on. But this is something that he was doing when he was younger to make a couple dollars. So as he got older, he kind of started chilling on it. But it's funny hearing this, though, because when me and Fafa was living in West VA, we used to go to Gabe's, and we wasn't stealing, but we was definitely switching tags, which is kind of stealing, I guess. I don't know. Am I self-snitching right now? But we would switch the tags on the little tags in Gabe's, and if it was like $20, we'd take it down to like $2, $3 just to get little discounts on the stuff, because we couldn't afford the clothes that we really wanted at the time. So that was the only way where we would try to get fly and go to school at the time in West VA, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, self-snitching 101. A little side note, I don't think sports get enough credit like it should. We used to play football all the time outside in the streets, ride bikes, play basketball, all that kind of stuff. And like, it's crazy, man, because like he was talking about how in his neighborhood they was playing a lot of basketball and sports like that, keeping people out of a lot of negativity, a lot of drama and stuff like that. And it's crazy because we used to do the same thing. Like, I never really cared about nothing that was going on in the streets, even though we were surrounded by it, because I was just trying to play ball. So my whole point is, I just think sports should get a little bit more credit for keeping people out of trouble than it do. Maybe it do. Maybe I'm just not aware of how much credit it do or don't get. But a lot of times where I'm at in my life right now, sports get a little bit of a negative attachment to it to some extent. Like, it's not educational or it's not it's just a sport. It's just a game. So I don't know. I feel like it should get a little bit more credit, but that's just a little side note. He was talking about how he used to make money And it was funny to me because like we used to do this, like make money or whatever. He was talking about how he used to make money and iron his dollars and fold it into a knot to make him feel good. And I used to do the same. Like we used to go to Murray's on Broad Street and bag groceries, and like they would give you money for bagging groceries at the corner at the Murray's on Broad Street, because it was like keep the kids out of trouble. So you help them bag it and put it in there, and they give you $1. And I used to always take my dollars, fold them in knots, and iron them. That's what I used to do. It used to always make me feel good as a kid. You know what I mean? So one thing I didn't know that he was talking about was how much he used to hustle back in the day. Now, I never knew that about Jeezy at all. I never knew that he was really like hustling. I thought it was all attached to the BMF stuff. Like he never did it. He was just getting money because he was with Meech and them. That's what I thought. But in the book, he tells a whole nother story. Like, yo, he had his own lane going down and making and stuff like that, which is wild because I never knew. So amongst him talking about these stories, he used to always talk about anxiety. So he used to say like, he thought that he was getting addicted to the drugs because he used to have so much anxiety going on. So he thought it was the fumes of all the drugs going around. So he was like really paranoid and worried that he was getting addicted to these drugs, even though he wasn't smoking them, but it was just anxiety. And I thought that was a dope perspective because I never heard nobody talk about it from that way, because like at such a younger age, you're not really being aware of your emotion and what's going on with you. Like, why else would you think that you're getting addicted to these, drugs, this paraphernalia? Which is wild to me though, because like he knew something was going on, but he just couldn't put a finger exactly what it was. It's just the first time me hearing somebody talk about it from that avenue. You with me? Another thing that I loved about this book was he kept talking about how he had to be relentless with a lot of different things that he was trying to accomplish. And it's funny to me because I just read the book Relentless about the guy that was training Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, and Kobe. And that's one of his main things, be relentless, be relentless. So Jeezy was talking about that a lot of the book. I thought it was interesting. And another part that I thought was interesting, how much he was actually failing trying to get on musically, trying to get away from hustling. And like he spent like $70K on the studio and brought all these people in and was trying to make this bread and trying to make it work, and everything failed. He almost lost everything. And one thing that he learned from that process was how to exactly not to do everything that he was trying to do musically. So that was funny to me because, of course, anybody know me know I was doing music for a little while, and to me, it was successful to me because I enjoyed it. I worked with a lot of people that I love and like really fans of to this day. So it definitely was a win for me. But I just thought it was funny to hear him talking about how he took these losses with this music stuff. Another part of the music stuff was he was saying how when he fell into some hard times with the hustling, and the only thing he had left was the music equipment that he bought. So somebody was like, had their Eazy-E moment like, yo, you might as well rap, E. That's what they said to him, like, Jeezy, you might as well rap. You got all the stuff. You the one actually living the life. So that was one thing that I thought was funny. And then another part, he was talking about how like all these big name producers nowadays was overcharging him back then because he was kind of green. And how when he see these producers now, he still be giving them a hard time. Like, yo, that was fucked up what you was doing to me back in the day, bro. He was overcharging the hell out of me. But it's just funny to hear like people that do make it and still be amongst these people that was trying to get over him a little bit. But I guess that's just the, price it costs to, you got to pay to play. You know what I mean? Another thing he talked about a lot was Big Meech. Now, anybody know Big Meech? I don't think I've ever heard one bad story about Big Meech. Like, no matter who it is, no matter where it is, no matter what city, what state, what hood, what gang, what affiliation, I always hear nothing but love for Big Meech. And it's wild because somebody that loved doing what he was doing is just a crazy impact. Even the show is cool. Like, I watched the show BMF that 50 doing. It's a pretty dope show. But it's just wild to me that you never hear nobody talking bad about Big Meech, no matter where, how. At least I haven't. And if you have, maybe you could comment and let me know. But I haven't ever heard nobody talking bad about Big Meech. It's wild. So one of the common themes of this book is how much he failed trying to get in position with this rap shit. And I thought it was like real interesting that he really, really, really was telling that story of how he kept failing. And one of the times that he failed was when he tried to do a song with, he went in the studio session, Baby and Cash Money and all of them was there. And he was huge, and Cash Money and Baby and them was like the hottest thing out at the time. And he went in there like hype, like this my opportunity. My bad. This, you can tell I'm excited. He was hyped like this my opportunity, this my time. Like we about to get it. And he said, I'm over there talking to Baby, and his top grill fell out as he was talking to Baby. And he felt like that threw the whole vibe, the whole energy off. Like, ain't nothing work out how he thought. He left without a deal. He just was like, damn, another opportunity going down the drain. But it's interesting, man, because it's like, it lets you know that it's never just an easy one-way path to success. You would think that he just got on because he was affiliated with BMF. But no, like, he really, really was trying to get on with so many different ways and spending so much money with different producers and meeting all these people, and it still wasn't working. Crazy. One thing he talked about that I thought was crazy. So everybody know who Jacob the Jeweler is, for the most part, at least if you were a hip hop fan. So everybody was going to Jacob the Jeweler buying all these watches and chains and stuff like that. So he bought 2 Jacob the Jeweler watches for 80 grand, like a piece. And like, he was so hyped to have it. Everybody, like, when you go to the club, Jay-Z, Puffy, everybody have on the same watch he had. So it made him feel like he done made it to some extent. But once Jacob got locked up and all that conspiracy stuff went down, and he tried to sell that Jacob the Jeweler watch back, he got $3,500 for both of them, which was wild to me. Like, bro, how you spend 80 grand on some jewelry and you only get $3,500 back? That is crazy. But you hear it all the time. They say, like, hip hop jewelry is the biggest scam in hip hop to this day. Like, that's the biggest scam everywhere. No disrespect to any of y'all jewelers, because y'all do your thing, but it's just wild to me. Like, that's crazy. You 80 grand to $3,500? Shit, me and Jacob gonna have to have a conversation. Another thing that he talked about that was crazy to me was he talked about that BMF billboard. And if anybody been in Atlanta long enough, you know that BMF billboard that was on 75, like right by the airport, everything was wild. Like, when I first saw it, I remember I was thinking, like, hindsight 2020, of course. Initially, you'd be like, yo, that's crazy. Why would you do that knowing who's gonna see it? All these politicians and police is gonna start questioning. But originally, I thought it was like a rap group or a label or something. I never knew what it was at the time. They say, like, iconic moments always passes you by. You never know it's an iconic moment when you in it. You only know when it passes you by. So that was wild to me. Like, that's crazy. Like, I remember that vividly, driving down 75. Like, who the fuck is BMF? Not knowing, like, who it really was. It's crazy. Well, Jeezy he got his name from Lil Wayne. Like, Lil Young Weezy, so he switched it to Jeezy. And they had a whole thing. I think his name was like Lil J or something before that. But I thought that was interesting. I never knew that that's where he got his name from. He made 2 albums before, like, he was trying to get on, and they really wasn't getting no traction. So that was just deemed like another failure. It wasn't working. And he had this song that he did that he was super hype about, and it didn't hit the way he wanted it to. He had took it to Magic City. He had got Bum B on it, so he was like super hype about this song, and he thought it really was going to take off, but it didn't. And he was like kind of salty about it. But the thing was, everything he was doing was stepping stones to the next level. It was building blocks. It was building momentum. It was building and building and building. So it was looking like it was failing, but it really wasn't. And if you really think about that as far as us in today's time and how much we working on and really digging and trying to reach that diamond, like you see the little memes, and you give up in the last moment, like, man, this shit just ain't working, I'm done. Because he really, really, really spent a lot of money, spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, and it wasn't going the way that he wanted to until, like, even that last attempt where he really thought it didn't work, but it actually did. Well, it built the momentum to get to him to the point of him getting this deal. And that's a whole nother story. That part was crazy as well. This song he did with Bum B finally started gaining some traction. He went to Magic City and they was hype. Everybody was playing it. And you know, in Atlanta, they say, like, if you really want to get on in Atlanta, you got to get on with the DJs and the strip clubs. That's how you get your play. That's how you get your songs moving out here in the city of Atlanta. That's what they've been saying for a long time. And that's what happened. I don't know if it's still that way, but that's what the way it was at the time. So he met Jazzy Faye, and Jazzy Faye was like, yo, I know you rap or whatever, but he thought he was hustling. He was like, nah, I rap. And Jazzy Faye was like, yeah, okay. But when he started playing his song and his music for him, he realized who he was. Oh, snap. So he set up a meeting with like Def Jam, L.A. Reid, and all this kind of stuff. And the meeting with L.A. Reid, the way Jeezy described it was super fucking dope. Like, he made it, the way he was talking about it and setting this up, I don't know who his writer was or his editor or whoever was helping him write this book or if he did it on his own, but much props to Jeezy, because the way he was telling some of these stories really was hitting. Like, that sound like it was crazy moment. Like how he got dressed up, how he was ready for the moment, how he was going on the elevator, how he just knew he was gonna go in there and take over, and he was about to be the biggest Def Jam became artists and how he met L.A. Reid, and there was this little office, and he was like, what the hell? But they was remodeling L.A. Reid office, and just how he had his moment, and he just knew. It just sounded so impactful and so motivational. Once again, going back to his music being motivational. So this, like, the stories that he was telling, A1, Jeezy, did you think, but for real. He got a saying in there, and it made me think about my sister Fafa, because she always having issues with people wanting to pay her what she feel like she's worth. In the beginning of the book, it's this guy that really had this issue with this like person that robbed him, that shorted him like a certain amount of money, and his whole thing was like, yo, my price is my price. It's the principle behind it. And she was like, yo, it's only a certain amount of money, like chill out, it ain't that deep. But he was like, nah, my price is my price. So eventually that ended up coming in the back around to Jeezy, and it was crazy because, again, his storytelling is like top notch in this book. But it made me think about Fafa, like, Fafa, stick to your guns, bro. I know you feel like you need to be getting compensated more for what you're doing, and your price is your price, and stick to that. And that's one thing that stuck out to me about this book as well, like, your price is your price. So then he goes back into Big Meech, and he said Big Meech rented a 747, loaded it up with everybody from the A, and took it to Mexico, rented out the whole hotel, had everybody out there partying and wild. I'm thinking, like, Big Meech had some bread, bro. He was doing a lot. But living life, man, and you kind of think like that's how life should be. Like, you should be able to live life and expenditures and have a ball. But what he was doing, you know, was wild. But still, like, that's crazy, man. He was saying, like, he flew an entire 747 full of people out, paid for everything to Mexico, and rented out a whole hotel for like a week. It was crazy, man. All right, so he talked about Fabulous, and it's just dope hearing these stories, man. It's just making me so excited. I feel like a little fanboy, but whatever, I don't care. Judge me all you want. This book was dope. He talked about how him and Fab met at a Blue Da Vinci video shoot, and how Fab played the song Breathe for him, and Jeezy was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, yo, you gotta put me on. And Fab was like, nah. Nah, you can't get on this, man. But he offered him something else. And I just remember in Oklahoma when I first heard Breathe, like, we went to Philly and came back with this mixtape, and ain't nobody had these songs in Oklahoma. Me and my homie Chris, what up? Christopher Robinson, man. We used to play that song all the time. And like 2 months after we had it, the Tulsa, Oklahoma radio station started playing it. Like, we got this new Fabulous Breathe, and me and Chris was like, man, that shit old. We was listening to that for 2 months now. But it was dope that we had our own little piece of an exclusive for like a month or so before it was actually out, or at least before it hit the Tulsa radio waves. But Jeezy was talking about how blown he was about this song. He was trying to get on it, but he was like, nah, it's good. He was like, nah, pimp, you can't get on this. Another funny ass part of this book, I know I got a lot of notes on it, was how he met DJ Drama. And you know Drama from Philly. Drama, what up? So he went to his house, and he was like, this little college kid was like, yo, he had this little raggedy house. I forgot exactly where he said it was at, but he was like, yo, take your shoes off. He's like, man, I'm not taking my shoes off. Come this raggedy ass out. This little college kid. And anyway, they end up linking up and talking, and Jeezy was trying to create this, you know, song, whatever. He was trying to get the music for his tours and all that kind of stuff. And initially, Drama didn't want to work with it because Drama like, yo, this street stuff ain't gonna work like that or whatever. But he was like, nah, it is. So it was kind of like a origin story for the Gangsta Grillz whole thing. And he go into a whole nother story of that and how it was dope, man. Like, it was really dope how they created that whole Gangsta Grillz and how big it got and how it blew up. And how everybody started doing it. Like, I don't know if Jeezy was the first. I don't know if he was trying to say he was or he wasn't. I don't know. But it just was like one of the people that was like, and you remember when that Gangsta Grillz thing was going on, that was like everywhere. So just getting a little backstory behind Atlanta history when you've been here and hearing it and being like a witness to it is dope. All right, so he talks about he had Patchwork. And Patchwork is like one of the bigger studios here, where if you ever been in Patchwork, I've been in there a few times, like, it's lined up with Grammys, like platinum. It's lined up with, you could just see like every artist in the world has been in there working. And it's a dope studio. It's expensive though, but it's dope. It's a good environment. And how he was in there and he was making some plays in there. And so somebody pulled him, like, yo, I need to talk to you, bro. And pulled him in the stall. He was like, what up? So he was like, he went in the stall, and the person that pulled him in there started checking each stall, like, seeing if anybody was in there. Like, I need to talk to you. He's like, yo, what's up, man? Like, bro, you can't be doing this shit both at the same time. You can't be hustling and rapping at the same time. Because if you do that shit gonna go down. He was like, nah, man, I'm good. I'll do my thing. And come to find out, the person that was telling that was T.I. And that just was funny to me because how he tell his stories, man, be dope. Because you be laughing at him because he even had like T.I. voice a little bit down. Trying to tell him like, nah, man, you can't be doing that, bro. You can't be doing this. And he was like, but and T.I. is the one that ended up getting caught up with a lot of wild craziness. Well, Jeezy did too, though. So we gonna get to that too. All right, one thing he talked about, which I didn't know, is he talked about how big clothing is in comparison to music. I had no idea. He was saying like he went to this event. Jay-Z was like, yo, we got to go to this event in Vegas. I forgot what it was. And he walking around this massive 2 mile, I forgot how big the place was, square foot place in Vegas where all these, clothing vendors was there. And everybody was like, yo, thank you, Jeezy, thank you, thank you. But he didn't know why everybody was thanking him. Like, everybody was like, yo, we appreciate you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So he like, man, what the hell everybody keep thanking me for? So one of the Asian guys that was there was like, yeah, man, we appreciate them snowman shirts. Like, what you mean? So he started paying attention. Everybody there was selling snowman t-shirts. Like, it was like the biggest thing. And Jay-Z was like, I hope you got that trademark and copyright. He ain't had none of that. So he was talking about how much money he lost on the snowman t-shirts and how many people was out there selling it and making money off of it. How he went to New York and they had like 50 different versions of the snowman t-shirt, like a Jamaican one, an Asian one, a Puerto Rican one, like a Alaskan snowman. It was just dope. It was funny hearing him. It was kind of fucked up too, how much money he lost potentially on not copyrighting the trademark in that snowman logo with the t-shirts. All right, we're getting close to the end of this book. A couple more things. The Big Meech thing. Now, at the time, everybody was saying like he was affiliated with Big Meech. And now I do believe that was part of the reason why he blew up the way he did, because of them. But once Big Meech and all them started getting locked up and started getting booked, and like people started trying to testify that Jeezy was a part of it, he started separating himself from it. And it's crazy though, man, because you think about it, like, at that time, it kind of felt like he was trying to play BMF on him a little bit, which now I hear the book, I understand. Like, he had to do what he had to do so he didn't go to jail, because people was trying to say he was a part of it when he really wasn't. And it was just kind of like in the streets, you don't do shit like that. And I understand, man. But when you try to change and do better and evolve and move on, especially if you're really not in them streets like that, or really you're not anymore, it's hard, man, to really kind of distance yourself from people that you really care about and love. But at the same time, like, you got to do what you got to do, man. And I know a lot of people don't like that or look at it that way, but it's been times in my life where I just had to separate myself because I was never on that time. I never was in the streets. I never was hustling. I never was into a lot of wild shit. And like, when I had to kind of step away from it, like, yo, that ain't me. Like, some motherfuckers took that shit personal. Some people we ain't cool with to this day because of that shit, but it is what it is, man. Like, that wasn't me though. Like, I wasn't into that shit. Never was. Like, how do you expect somebody, well, be personally, how do you expect me to pay a price for something that I wasn't doing or a part of? So, I don't know, it's crazy, man. Just to hear a different perspective, it definitely was like, wow, because you can imagine what he was really going through and how much it was hurting him trying to figure his life out and separate it from the same time. It's crazy. Another funny part, he was talking about Kanye. He did a song, Can't Tell Me Nothing, and how he sent the song to Kanye for Kanye to get on it. And like, when Kanye sent it back, it didn't have any of his lyrics on it, just his ad-libs. Like, Kanye took the whole song over and just left his ad-libs on it. He was like, yo, what the hell, man? Like, he thought they was going to hit together. Kanye completely took him off of it. But Kanye ended up getting on another one, and they ended up fixing that. And that was also like another funny part of it. All right, this is the last part of the notes I got. He said that he got locked up in South Beach. He had a fight with Blue Da Vinci, and everybody pulled out these guns. He got locked up, and the cops pulled him in the back of the room and was like, yo, these 2 guns is yours. We're going to pin this on you. And he was like, he looked at the table, and they had all these pictures all over the table, everywhere in the room. And he was like, yo, what is this? So once he sat down, he realized on that 747, all the clubs and parties, Meech had a party where he had like a lion and tiger and all that shit there. He was saying the feds had pictures of everything Meech was doing. like from the club, from the party, the hotels, like all the events, everything. They had it all lined up. And this is what I mean by Jeezy is great at telling the story, because he was, everything he was telling you about Meech, he was setting the picture. So when you got to the end, you seen it all laid out. Like, yo, the feds was there and all these stories that I'm telling you. So it was a dope way how he was portraying and talking about how the feds got all these pictures, and they was asking him questions, and he was sitting there thinking like, damn, what the hell else do they know? What don't they know? They have everything already. So yeah, that was crazy part, and it started to understand a little bit more why he was separating it. So overall, this is probably one of the most entertaining, fun, educational like books I done read, man, for so many different reasons. It was smart, it was witty, it was creative, it was according to Jeezy, it was real. But it was definitely, man, it answered a lot of questions. Oh, one thing he did talk about that I was super surprised about was the Gucci story. I'm surprised he put Gucci in here. He talked about that issue before, and he talked about the verses. So make sure y'all check that out too. I forgot to mention that as well, but that was something he talked about that I was surprised. But yeah, man, this book was above and beyond. Like, I recommend this to everybody, especially if you're from Atlanta, especially if you're a fan of hip hop. Great book. It's Pito. It's another book review. Adversity for Sale by Young Jeezy. We out. Cheer.